Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 306. China's competition is cooling down, but also heating up at the same time. And we are seeing Robbotaxi race is heating up, and Waymo is going for another capital raise. And the tides are truly shifting. We have Tesla Critics publication praising Tesla's full self-driving version 14, even calling it magical. And we had a lot of great news about Elon Musk's SpaceX this week. And Elon Musk also tells all his ex-AI staff how to win the AI race. And we finally see some more solar fabs being built in the US. And Uber's CEO is saying that it's not data they can help Tesla with, but demand. And we finally had some more news about Tesla insurance. And we might be heading in for a very good quarter for Tesla in China. All of this and much more in today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
Chinese competition is cooling down, but also heating up at the same time. Firstly, China is slamming the brakes on the EV price war in China. New government regulation now forbid selling cars at a loss to gain market share. The ultimate goal is to force automakers to stop fighting over who is the cheapest and start competing on who offers the best technology and service. For consumer, this means no more smoke and mirrors. Price and specs must be transparent. No hidden fees. Surprise loan cost or forced insurance bundles are banned. Accountability, contract must have guaranteed delivery dates with penalties for delays. This is excellent news for Tesla China. Their direct sales model is already built in transparency, meaning they are fully compliant while competitors are scrambling to adjust. Yes, this is brilliant for Tesla that is already profitable and are using a transparent business model. But even though China is trying to cool down the competition in China, they are of course not trying to cool down the export of Chinese cars to other markets, as Robin reported. China wants to dominate global EVs. Eurozone import of Chinese cars are up to 7.5% of total cars import in August 2025, up from 2.5% in 2019. Belgium is up 22%, Spain 12%, Italy 11%. All are up basically from zero a few years ago. Yes, they are not coming. They are already here, as Michael Dawn also wrote. Chinese cars are pouring into Europe and the UK at a pace that dwarf what the Japanese and Koreans could achieve over the past 30 years. Spain is the canary. But it is, of course, not just Europe the Chinese are pouring into, as Michael also wrote. Chinese cars are pouring into Mexico. Chinese automakers respond to Mexico raising tariff to 50%. That's really not going to stop us. Yeah. Made in China car export to Mexico? Well, in 2020, it was less than 10,000 vehicles before Mexico dropped the tariff to 0%. But the forecast for 2025 is that they will hit 530,000 units. But it's not just the Chinese automakers. As you probably know, GM is building Chevy in China and exporting them to Mexico in a big way. But we might see more of this as GM and Ford repurpose Chinese joint venture business as a base camp for export. What is going on? Turning to export has helped giants like General Motors, Ford and Stellantis survive a tough period in China. They write in this article. And yes, they have used the joint venture as an export base to offset declining domestic sales, with GM achieving quarterly profitability in 2025 through export after a $5 billion overhaul. But this is something the Germans back in the days said they would never do. As I reported on before, that Volkswagen wanted to move more of their production into China. But they didn't want to do this, as they explained back in the days, because that means sharing their profits with the Chinese joint partnership for their sales outside of China, losing 50% of their profits. So this might work short term to try to fix the decline in China, the biggest car market in the planet, by exporting the cars to other places. So this pivot allows survival without full exit from China, but faces challenging from projected Chinese dominance. Some of them have it as high as 76% market share by 2030, and calls for renegotiating profit shares for competing internationally. So the Western brands are basically handing over the entire car industry to the Chinese this way. This might help them short term, but they are setting China up for huge success this way. I don't think this is going to end very well for the legacy automakers. And we are seeing the Robbotaxi race is heating up, and Waymo is going for another capital raise. Waymo is gearing up for a major capital raise, with Alphabet's self-driving subsidiary reportedly seeking more than $15 billion in new funding at a valuation approaching $100 billion, which, if completed, would represent a dramatic step up for Waymo's previous funding round, aligning with Alphabet's push to separate the loss-making unit after 21 years per Reuters reporting. So this might just be Waymo trying to raise some capital, raise some money, but this might also explain why Waymo has been pushing so hard to get Robbotaxi systems out to a lot more cities through the year, even though Waymo's system has still a lot of flaws. I know Fred Lambert liked to make articles every time Tesla report a crash with their Robbotaxis, but forget to mention Waymo altogether, because if we look at this chart from NHTSA themselves, so this is reported accidents with ADS driving cars, and as you can see, Tesla has 8 reported accidents, but Waymo has 1,426 accidents. Fred could have made a lot more articles if he just covered Waymo's accident instead, with the same kind of detail as he does with Tesla. Even Zoox, which has also just started their Robbotaxis in Las Vegas, has 111 accidents, but has also traveled 1 million miles, so we are also seeing some good progress from them, so that's very cool to see. But I know Waymo does a lot more driving, of course, so they will also have a lot more accidents, but it's just not something you hear about. Only Tesla. But you can basically report on Waymo issues on a weekly basis, like this one where Waymo just drive straight through a red light, or this one where Waymo cross a double yellow line, challenging 3 lanes of head-on traffic. And I also reported on before that Waymo violated a stop sign and flashing light from school buses over 20 times. However, following the disclosure, Waymo said that they were already aware of the issue and had already updated the vehicles. But it was found that multiple further illegal passes has been made after the claim updated had occurred. So Waymo makes a lot of mistakes on a weekly basis. But it has LiDAR. Yes, so it's not because it can't see. This system is simply just not that intelligent, and keep making the same mistakes again and again and again, because it's not learning from every single video as Tesla's full self-driving video AI system does. And we also see this in China with Robbotaxis crashing into other cars, and we even had Baidu running pedestrians over. And this is not because the lack of LiDAR, but the lack of an AI brain power. So Waymo makes a lot of mistakes, so it might not be the best idea to expand to all these new cities and countries with the software that is not really working 99% properly. So maybe this is just Waymo founding capital rise while they can, as they might know it will soon be over when Tesla has actually solved a general solution that can drive everywhere, and that does actually get smarter and more intelligent every single day, and have a cost and a scale that Waymo just can never do. But we will see how it all goes. But as I said before, everyone getting approval to drive Robbotaxis in any city is eventually going to help Tesla. As Elon Musk has said himself, Waymo kind of paved the way for Tesla. And we are seeing more of this in China as well, because China has just approved 2 Chinese cars with level 3 autonomous driving capabilities, making it the first time such vehicle has been cleared by the national regulators. 2 EVs from state-owned automakers Changang Auto and BAIC Motor were approved. So again, very good news, more automakers paving the way for Tesla. And I do believe we are close, as Tesla is testing their Robbotaxis with no one in the cars, that they are extremely close to make unsupervised Robbotaxis a solved deal. And then we will see Tesla's cost and scale really come to fruition. Even Tesla's main X account just posted this week, slowly, then all at once. Oh yes, things are about to get wild. And speaking of the Robbotaxi, this guy also spotted the Cybercab in Austin on public roads. So I guess Tesla is maybe testing unsupervised in more vehicles than just the Model Y. I think this is what Tesla has been waiting for when it comes to the Cybercab, because I thought Tesla would start testing the Cybercab much earlier, as we knew they had a lot of prototype that they used at the We Robot event. So I thought they would just be putting some of them on the street as well to test them out. But they were probably waiting for Tesla to be able to do the unsupervised, as it has of course no steering wheel or pedals and has only room for 2 persons, so it would be a little weird to have another person sitting in the Cybercab with you. But now that they have unsupervised ready, they can start testing out the Cybercab on public roads. But there might have been some employees in the Cybercab we just don't see on the video, as we saw other videos afterwards coming out showing Tesla's testing of these Cybercabs, but there were people in the car with a steering wheel, so maybe not completely unsupervised just yet, but looks like Tesla is getting ready for it, doing the last test. So this is a very exciting and a little glimpse into what is about to come. The Robbotaxi that no other company on the planet can compete against when it comes to cost and scale. And the tides are truly shifting. We are seeing more and more articles coming out from publications that are usually very Tesla critics. But now they have given in, saying Tesla's full self-driving version 14 is amazing, even calling it magical. I have already reported on Wall Street Journal's article a few weeks back that made a very positive article about Tesla's full self-driving and how it changed the journalist's life forever. But now CNET is joining the party. As Connor from CNET wrote after testing full self-driving version 14. I drove over 100 miles with Tesla's latest full self-driving and never touched the wheel. 4 days and 4 hours and 100 miles through San Francisco. I'm now fully convinced Tesla's full self-driving system is the future of driving. Wow, it drove me through it all. Tight curb streets, janky parking garage, rain-slicked freeways, and even the crooked mess of Lombard Street, both in dry and wet weather, all without a hiccup. It handled it better than some people I saw reversing down driveways. I never felt the need to take over. Parking was the cherry on top. It would pull into or reverse into spaces, even in tight garages. Occasionally, I picked the exact space I wanted, but most of the time I just let it do its thing, and it did it well. I've used autopilot before in the UK, where full self-driving isn't a thing, but full self-driving is miles ahead. I'll be lying if I said it didn't feel like slightly magical. I never driven in San Francisco before. I didn't know the street, but the car did. I trusted it, and that's the key takeaway here. I trust the system. At no point did it clinch, panic, or even hesitate. And that is not what I expect from something called full self-driving. So the system is now getting so good that people just have to admit that this software is magical and is the future of the auto industry. And we also continue to see private persons that are just being driven around by their car with zero intervention. As Sawyer shared David's stats here about his Tesla Model 3 that drew the last 5,008 miles on full self-driving, while the human drove 0 miles. As Sawyer wrote, this is the equivalent from driving from Miami, Florida to Anchorage in Alaska without ever touching the pedal or the steering wheel once. Incredible. Full self-driving supervised version 14. Miles driven by the Tesla, 5,008 miles. Miles driven by the human in the car, 0. 10% city, 90% highway, not a single intervention. This is how good the system is now. So it might still be level 2 system because we still have to supervise it. And that is something that really confuses a lot of people, because Tesla's level 2 system is more capable than any other level 4 or 5 system on the planet. No other car or Robbotaxi on this planet could have done what Tesla just did. And David here has been sitting in his car and been driving around by the car for the last 5,000 miles all over the place. Actually, he made a new post a bit later with 5,251 miles now on road. The numbers just keep climbing. 6,000 plus coming soon this weekend. Just incredible. And with Croc integration, you don't even have to do much yourself at all, as the car just seems alive. And because it is Croc, it is also incredibly up to date, like Dan here shared on X.
What did Elon tweet just now?
Elon's most recent tweet, about an hour ago, confirms Robbotaxi testing in Austin with no one in the car, fully autonomous. He said, "Testing is underway with no occupants in the car."
Yes, the Tesla experience is just on another level, and it's coming to the entire world very soon, as we also saw the South Korean Assembly member So-Young Lee sharing a hands-free Tesla full self-driving drive in Seoul traffic. Seamless urban navigation highlights full self-driving's readiness in Korea after its November 2025 launch. Yes, Tesla is ready to deploy full self-driving supervised worldwide. It's only a matter of approval. As Devon also shared on X, today I drove just under 400 kilometers in total, and full self-driving version 14.2 quite literally did everything for me. We live in a strange time where I can spend the day being driven around by my car. Meanwhile, almost every other vehicle on the road today was being driven manually. I'm not sure what it'll take for the world to wake up and realize how good Tesla's full self-driving system has got. But until they do, I'm just going to keep making videos and sharing them online. Tesla AI team, thanks for doing the heavy lifting today while I got to relax and enjoy the drive. Yes, but luckily, it does seem like people are starting to wake up. With the new articles we are seeing and people realizing that Elon has been screaming wolf for many years. But now, there is actually a wolf standing right in front of us, ready to eat the competition. And we had a lot of SpaceX news from this week. SpaceX is making some good progress and has already reached their goal for 2025 with some time to spare, as Kigo wrote on X. Congrats to the entire SpaceX team for achieving 165 launches. While we are originally set out for 170, we actually revised the manifest to 165 this summer based on business and manifest needs. We have 2 more Falcon launches to go in 2025 for exact credit for a total of 167. Worth noting that the SL699 was also our last single stick from 39A for some time, as we put full focus on Falcon Heavy launches and ramping Starship from the Cape. Nice, can't wait for SpaceX to get some more launches of the Starship and get everything tuned in for this massive rocket that will make access to space much more affordable, and we'll be able to launch a lot more satellites in one launch compared to today. But it is not like SpaceX is not getting some satellites into space with the small Falcon 9 rocket, as Sawyer also reported. SpaceX is on track to surpass 10,000 Starlink satellites in orbit by February 2026. Yes, this is the biggest constellation of satellites humans have ever made. And it is made by Elon Musk's little private company. Just amazing. And Starlink version 3 will be at 20 kilowatt and launched at scale around Q4 next year. Gigabit connectivity will add 60 terabits per second of download capacity to the Starlink network, 20 times the capacity. This is just some insane progress. As Elon also explained in his post about AI data centers in space, as he said, an AI satellite is easier, not harder, than Starlink version 3 design, which is a marvel of engineering created by an epic team of humans. I'm so proud of the SpaceX team. Yes, indeed. And this system has already proven its value during natural disasters, wars, and power outages, where ground network fails first. Schools and hospitals, emergency crews, and small business now rely on a signal coming straight from orbit. But it is, of course, not just for emergencies, as Dima wrote. Thanks to SpaceX, Starlink, Antarctica is no longer cut off from the world. Starlink is a game changer. Yes, indeed. And just the last space news for today, we finally got to see Jared Isaacman being sworn in as the new NASA administrator. Nice to see Jared at the wheel at NASA. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this news show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. If you don't think EVs can handle many miles and you have to change the battery every other year, you would be wrong. Richard Simmons, or RSEV, has a YouTube channel and buy and sell old Teslas and has a Tesla Model 3 that has the highest mileage of a Tesla in the UK. And they just finished a 2,500 miles tour from the south tip of England to the most northern part in his old Tesla Model 3. So a bit like what I did with my Tesla Model 3, where I drove from the south of Norway and tried to get to North Cape in 2022. But Richard's Tesla here has done over 238 miles with the original battery pack and motors. And it did this 2,500 mile journeys through the extreme weather with not a single hiccup whatsoever. The battery still has a maximum capacity of 86% and the brakes have only 30% wear. Just quite an amazing car, that Tesla Model 3, even though it probably has a few panel gaps that are not perfectly aligned. But the engineering of the motor and powertrain and so on is just simply amazing. These old Teslas just holds up extremely well. I will leave a link to Richard's video down below if you want to check it out. And Sucker Jesse shared a little clip from their show on X, showing off just how good full self-driving is in the snow-covered roads.
It's doing great. It's doing fantastic. This is the exact speed I'd be going.
And you're in chill?
I'm in chill.
All right, so back onto a plowed road, but I think that test was great.
I mean, there were no lines. It's all white. Okay, so the street is white, the lawns are white, everything is completely snow, and it was able to stay on the road. Pretty good.
And Elon told X-Staff that winning the AI race comes down to surviving the next 2 to 3 years and scaling compute, power and capital faster than anyone else. Key points from the meeting: XAI could achieve AGI as early as 2026, as Elon Musk predicted a couple of years back, and XAI has access to $30 billion per year in funding. Grok 5 carries a 10% probability of achieving AGI. Optimus humanoid robot could eventually operate data centers. Plans to scale from 200,000 GPUs to 1 million GPUs across its colossal data center. Long-term concept including data centers in space and Mars-related infrastructure. Yeah, Elon just thinks a little bigger than most. And we are finally seeing some solar fabs being built in the US, with T1 leading the way.
T1 has come a long way this year. In December 2024, we acquired a new world-class solar module facility located south of Dallas. Line by line, we commissioned and ramped up this modern manufacturing facility to 5 gigawatts, about 10% of America's demand, with a workforce of more than 1,200 people. Today, we are pleased to announce that we are beginning construction of the first 2.1 gigawatt phase of our solar cell fab. G2 Austin is located in Milan County, an hour northeast of Texas' state capitol building. When both phases of the 5.3 gigawatt fab are complete, G2 is expected to have a workforce of 1,800 skilled Texans and a payroll exceeding $100 million. The first phase alone is more than the U.S.'s current manufacturing capacity of silicon solar cells. America needs gigawatts of energy now to meet the demands of AI, industrialization, and economic growth. Solar is the only technology that can scale today at that rate, and it should be built in America. Fortunately, we're not alone. Our partners, Hemlock Semiconductor and Corning, are ready to supply T1 with polysilicon and wafers from Michigan. Our partner NextPower is preparing to supply American-made steel frames for our solar modules. Americans building American solar.
With one swipe of the bat, T1 will come into the county and be able to help us lower taxes on our residential taxpayers almost overnight.
Corning is proud to supply G2 Austin with wafers that will power the next chapter in American-made solar technology.
This is exactly the kind of investment in technology we hope to see continue in the United States.
With today's start of construction in Texas, we're just getting started. Time to build.
Yes, the fastest and cheapest way to get energy generation online is with solar panels. So good to see some progress on this front in the US and not leaving it all up to the Chinese. And if you think I always saturate when I'm talking about the collapse of the legacy automakers in China, well, here are some numbers from BMW sales in China just through the last couple of years. In 2023, BMW sold 825,000 units. In 2025, they are forecast to produce a maximum of 585,000 units. They have dropped about 250,000 in sales over just 2 years. If that is not a collapse, I don't know what is. Their big X5 sales tanked 78% year over year. And some people are trying to say Tesla sales are collapsing in China, but they are down a tiny bit in 2025 because of the refreshed Model Y, and they actually grew in 2024. It is really not Tesla that has an issue in China, it is the legacy automakers. And we saw Chinese electric trucks are changing the game. They can carry 100 tons downhill and come back with even more battery than they started with, thanks to regenerative braking. Yes, this is something I reported on like 5 years ago about the e-dumper that was already doing this and didn't have to charge during a whole day, as it gained more energy driving down with cargo than it did driving up empty. But nice to see more and more companies are getting the benefits of having electric trucks. Electricity is just better in every single scenario when it comes to transportation. And we have Uber CEO saying that Uber offer no data advantage to Tesla, so that is not what he sees Uber offering its partners.
Well, there's nothing secure about the technology space. There's always innovation. And so we just have to move fast. And I'd say actually the more important factor in Uber is our global coverage. We operate in 70 countries. The demand that we're bringing every day, we've got millions of consumers opening our app all over the world. And we can point that demand not just to our current driver partners and delivery partners, but as autonomous comes in, to autonomous partners. You know, these are very expensive cars. It's a very expensive technology. And you want to amortize the upfront spend against as many transactions as possible, and Uber certainly is the leader around the world in terms of the demand that we can point to our autonomous partners.
Mm-hmm. So what he thinks Uber can offer is demand, and that might be true. But I really don't think it will be difficult to get demand for robotaxis. I think demand will be much higher than the supply for many years, but also funny to hear him say that robotaxis are such an expensive system to set up, and that is true also for Tesla, if we look at all the money Tesla has been using on AI data centers and AI training. But for Tesla to deploy thousands of robotaxis is a fraction of the price than someone like Waymo has to do, that manually puts sensors and computers into normal EVs they buy from third parties. Tesla has paid its dues with AI and data centers, but are ready for scale at a cost the others just can't keep up with. But we still have people out there that just are completely blind to the truth of EV ownership. So much so, it's kind of scary just how unintelligent or misinformed so many people can be. Like Tobias here shared on X. The main German news program, watched by millions daily, reported about a daily commuter of 50 kilometers to and from, convinced that he can't use EVs as he don't have the time to find public chargers. He owns a house. The end. Yes, he even talks about how it takes him 3 to 5 minutes to go to the gas station and fill up. Yes, 3 to 5 minutes. You would never have to spend with your daily commute with just 100 kilometers if you just had an electric vehicle. So if he goes to the gas station just once a week, he would be using more than 4 hours a year to fill up his ICE car. 4 hours he would have saved every single year if he had an EV. The amount of brain damage out there is just insane. How can people be this misinformed? And we are seeing more and more Tesla stores in China celebrating them getting over their 2025 target with time to spare. This could be a really, really good quarter for Tesla in China. Can't wait to see the final result. And you have probably heard that full self-driving doesn't work in bad weather. Well, is this bad enough for you? Full self-driving, handling it like a boss. Yes, and we finally have some more news about Tesla's insurance. As Sawyer reported, Tesla Insurance has just officially launched in Florida. This is the first new state to receive Tesla Insurance in more than 3 years. In total, Tesla Insurance is now available in 13 U.S. states. Tesla Insurance in Florida uses real-time driving behavior, which look at what vehicle you're driving, where you live, how much you drive, what coverage you select, and the vehicle's monthly safety score to determine your policy premium. As of now, only new Tesla owners in Florida will be able to purchase a Tesla insurance policy. Existing owners can't purchase it at this time. The states it's available in covers over 46% of the US population. Nice, but it seems like it's almost more difficult to get insurance companies set up in the US than it is to solve full self-driving. Just crazy. And we have some more showcases of what Tesla has done and is doing. It's not easy. They just make it look easy, as Polestar has secured a financial lifeline after announcing a new term loan facility of up to $600 million from its majority owner Geely Sweden Holding AB. The agreement comes as Polestar continues to burn cash while scaling its operations. Yes, even though Polestar has very nice EVs, it does not guarantee their survival. They still have to learn how to make them profitably. Everyone can make a great electric car, but making it profitable is the real kicker, as Ford has also shown us, with them cancelling the F-150 Lightning altogether. It is not easy doing what Tesla does. And just want to make a quick shout out to my newest supporters of this channel: Stefan L. Vellens, Magnus Jansson, Sean Vest, Backyard Posum, Numse, Drake Pigeon, OBA, M. Straumila, and David Valley. Thank you so much for the support. I just want to make a huge thanks to all my Patreons and executive producers. That is the only way you can support this show right now, as my original BestInTESLA channel with 110,000 subscribers has been hacked, so still working on getting that back. But for now, you can't become a member of this channel, as this channel is not yet monetized. So please subscribe to the channel. So if you want to support me in another way, you can always go to my website, BestInTESLA.com, and make a little donation. And I just want to make a huge shout out to all the people that have already done this. Thank you so much for coming to my rescue in this difficult time and supporting me with donations and becoming Patreon supporters. My mind is blown of the love you have been sending my way. Thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart, I really, truly mean it. So don't forget to subscribe to this new channel, and also try to reach some of the old subscribers, because I am 10 times smaller on X than I am on YouTube, so I don't know how to get in contact with all my YouTube followers. So if you can share this video with everyone you know that follows me, please do get them over on this new channel. But I definitely hope that you guys watching will subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos, because they will only be coming on this channel for now. And if you're already a subscriber to the channel, thank you so much for the support. But if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel to get a shout out, add some extra perks like early access, ad-free versions of my videos, exclusive videos. Check out Patreon to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on X. I post pretty much all the news as it comes out and a lot more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. It is also possible to support the show without becoming a member or a patron. There is a donation option down below or on my website BestInTESLA.com. You can also become an executive producer and get news articles, exclusive videos, behind the scenes, and access to all my research charts and spreadsheets, also on BestInTESLA.com. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.